in cinemas exclusively for one night only, but in some areas maybe on a few more showings, I got to see Bocchi the Rock recap part 1 and part 2 of this 12 episodes so far anime series. And what I can say without any knowledge of this before going into it, I had an absolute blast. Welcome everyone to the channel. Thank you for sparing your own time out to check out my video where I'm going to be talking about Bocchi the Rock part 1 and 2 recaps. Now, this is written and illustrated in terms of the manga by Aki Hamaji, and the music throughout is provided by Moki Kaikuya. Bocchi the Rock tells a story of 4 girls coming together and working together to form the Kosuku band and performing live. And I know that might sound very vague, it may not sound like the most exciting plot that you could have, but there's so much more depths and layers that this series adds besides just focusing on music. There is a lot of messaging. There is also a lot of themes that's touched on, which a lot of people suffer from in regular everyday life, that I think the series explores so well, but it's also done in a serious tone and also a comedic tone to just make you feel warm inside, and also to just show you what more is out there in the world. So let's go over our characters very quickly. You've got Hitori, who's also known as Bocchi. She plays guitar. Next up, we've got Ikio Kita. She plays guitar, but she also does leading vocals. You got Ryo, who is on bass, and you've got Nijika, who is on drums. I definitely think one thing that really just helped elevate this even more than just me having a great time was the audience that I was in. Everyone was respectful, everyone was having a great time, there was a lot of laughs and chuckles throughout, and there was just some really great moments that I think was just elevated by the cinematic experience. But one thing that I really love about Bocchi the Rock is how it conveys its messaging in terms of what it's touching on. So for example, the big main theme here is with Bocchi herself, who suffers from social anxiety. So the thought of her making friends, being known to people in class, for stepping out of her comfort zone is like living proof of a nightmare. She would rather do anything else that she can besides what I've just mentioned before. And I love how they express this. As I mentioned, there's a lot of seriousness to it, and you can feel for her and be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that situation either. But then there's times you think, you know, this could really help her. This could really help her get out of that state that she's in and get her out of that comfort zone and really just propel her more in society, or propel her more in her social ability to interact with others, because deep down, she wants to be someone who people love her music. She wants to be crowd surfing, and she wants to be this rock star as such. With that social anxiety and being an introvert, it stops her from being all that she wants to be. And I think that is really important, and how a lot of people feel. You know, I have moments like that personally, where sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But how are the other characters compared to Bocchi? Well, they're all likable. I think every single one of them add something a little bit different to the story. You've got one, Kita, for example, who's like really an extrovert and is super happy, super loving, and is dedicated to everything that she do. And she'll put like 110% in anything that she's given. You got Ryo, who's a little bit more reserved and more kind of laid back character, I would say, but she will step out and, you know, be expressive if it's something that's really passionate to her, or something that she wants to dedicate herself to. You will see that, but it won't be like super happy and smiley and like full of energy, but you can tell she is giving it her all. And Najika, who has this club with her sister called Story, where the girls can perform at, she's really good. She's just full of energy, and she's always trying to see the positives in every situation, even if Bocchi, for example, isn't feeling that way. There's many times that there is, but there's a lot of comedic gags along the way. But we also get introduced into like side characters with the band Sick Hack, and they were great. I really loved a lot about this anime. I just had a really great time. There's a lot to like here, and the anime itself actually is only 12 episodes, which I actually didn't know, because I thought this was going to be maybe a 24, 36, 48 kind of episode deal, and that's why they're doing these recaps. So I thought, okay, well, how much are they actually going to miss out of these recaps, especially as myself, my favourite anime ever is Death Note, and see like the over the relight, what versions of those, they missed out some like big moments in the anime series overall in terms of that recap. So here, I definitely feel like there will be some elements that's missed, especially towards a certain moment in the part 2, where it involves a guitar. I'm not saying much more than that because I read up afterwards what actually happened, and it made a lot more sense. But there will be elements that this misses, of course. It's a recap, so it's not going to show, 6 episodes in part 1, 6 episodes in part 2, so you know exactly what's happened. Otherwise, what would be the point of a recap? But I feel like there is certain elements where it did leave me with a few questions after leaving the part 1 and 2, where I was like, right, I kind of want to know what happened here. Right, how did we maybe get from this point to this point? Because there was certain moments it felt like it did do a little bit of a time skip, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this served its purpose in what it wanted to achieve. But ultimately, it did want me to go back and check out the anime, especially with the ending in part 2. I felt like part 1 ending was great. I had goosebumps, I was smiling, and I was like, right, I am ready for part 2. When we get to part 2, I saw the ending, and I was a bit like, okay, what a strange choice for an ending. And when I read up on what happened in episode 12 in the actual anime, was not what showed in the ending here. So I felt it was a little bit of a mismatch, few little bit missed opportunities, but overall I would honestly recommend this anime to anyone that does love anime and can just accept the seriousness, the goofiness, wackiness. This series has it all. And one thing I haven't touched on before I give you my final score is the music throughout, which is absolutely electric and toe tapping. On my way home after seeing this, I played the playlist on Spotify and I absolutely loved it. I jammed to it, and the songs themselves are really unique for what the situations that are presented. My overall score would be a 3.5, but worst case would be like a 3.5 going up to 4 stars. I had a great time. If you've seen this anime, if you want to check it out, or you've seen just even the recaps, let me know down below in the comment section. In the meantime, if you don't know about my Patreon, you can click the link down below in the description box and join today from only £2 per month. Big thanks to all these awesome legends who are part of Patreon. In the meantime, if you haven't seen these anime reviews of mine, well, click over here, have a bit of a deep dive. Till next time, I see you guys. I'll be seeing you later.